As expected, we did enter into some sort of extension of a correction, a very uncomfortable experience for day traders. There was a spill off of the CPI data, which was still elevated, not necessarily as bad as it has been in times past, but it still was pretty bad. Finding support at around that 410.55 level, closing higher than there at the end of the day. This is a really big deal, I think, to not pass below that level. So I'm starting to wonder, hey, maybe we actually do climb higher. But again, the zone of uncertainty here is pretty wide, from 431 to 393. The price is really free to do whatever it will. I've had a bearish wave count pulled up for quite a while. This is my hypothetical count that we've completed wave 2, and we're heading down for waves 3, 4, and 5. Wave 1 would be ending here on the 9th of February, and this weird experience we had today would mark the top of the second wave, which is corrective, which always feels crazy terrible. And you're gonna say, Cap, this doesn't have 5 waves. And I'm gonna say, yeah, it doesn't have 5 waves. It's possible that this is actually gonna be a corrective count. So this 1 will become an A, 2 will become B, and we'll be looking for C, and then 4 and 5, then we might actually relabel all of that as a motive wave. So for the time being, it's still pretty open. A lot could happen. I'm gonna open up a bigger chart here, go into the daily. Okay, we didn't quite get the rejection through there. This was a pretty good short-term forecast. I don't like to draw those lines for too much time because, well, truthfully, no one knows what's going to happen. I have in the past been able to forecast the price of AMC with an astonishing amount of accuracy for up to a week at a time. But right now, I want to talk about SPY, and then we'll get to AMC, GameStop, and go from there. So we had a zigzag pushing lower, bringing us to the middle of June in 2022, and a pull higher, and I'm calling this X. And I was talking in the Discord about how we might actually be in a pattern where X is actually over here, and the first zigzag is just ends later than I would anticipate it. A, B, and C coming down to here. This is all possible. These are all possible wave counts. And I think this would still be correct. I really do. And if we are in this corrective wave X, it's typically a zigzag. And a full measured move up is going to put us up towards the 430 range, probably. You can see me using the Fibonacci extension tool here. That 100% extension takes us to that August 22 high. I'm just going to go ahead and delete this because I can't read the price level at 429. I was looking for a massive price surge in the middle of the bear market, and I got it. I was calling it the everything rally, and I was expecting it to go higher than 431, but when we did come up to this level, I said, whoa, warning signs. It looks like we're turning around, and sure enough, the price did turn around, and we set a new low. So thus far, I've been able to call where these peaks are, and I think that this could be the peak here for wave C in this corrective ABC, which really could be part of X. And that would imply we have an entire zigzag down to go. This is more or less what I've been saying for a while now, so it's congruent with my other analysis. It's just another possible wave count. Let's hop over to AMC really quick. I'm going to turn on an hourly time frame here. And yes, now we have this splendid drop past that $5 level. This is creating bag holders, all the hype. It's all just burning a hole in people's pockets now. Hopefully, people are hedging their positions and not just going long here, hoping for the best. It's possible that we actually have a bullish Gartley through here. It is possible. It doesn't look like we quite got the retracement we needed for that initial leg. So you can see that $5 level is above the 61.8% retracement level I currently have shown. So we can't start drawing a bullish Gartley here. It's just a clean ABC move higher. I'm going to turn on the cap vision chart here. We can get some annotations going. The chart pattern analysis was pretty straightforward. I think at this point, what we're going to be looking for is to connect these two peaks, and probably going to be another valley that we connect. Yes, I'm going to draw another chart pattern here really quickly. I'm going to connect those peaks. I'm going to connect these valleys. And now what do we have? We have some sort of reverse triangle. It's possible to call this a broadening top. We need 5 touch points to make the pattern valid. We have points 1, 2, and I don't count this as 3 because the price didn't cross the pattern. But what I can do is I can argue that this was a measured move up and the chart pattern starts a little later. We can say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're coming in for touch point 5. So Bulkowski would actually advise buying here if the price starts to bounce and move higher. If not, then, well, sit and wait. It's very possible that we get what's called a partial rise, which is where the price does a little bit of a bounce, but fails to cross the entire length of the pattern. It's a bearish thing. It's probably going to occur at that $5 mark. It makes sense to me. This was a very strong downtrend. We are due for a retracement, a pull up, pull back. And I think from there, we're going to see a rejection. For the short term, I'm going to say, hey, AMC could pop from here, finding some support on this trend line. And the price may spin along this trend line for a while. That's where I'm at with AMC. Still looking bearish to me, although short term, probably a bounce coming in later this week. GameStop doesn't look like it's in the same position. It's always hard for me to have an analysis on GameStop that's bearish while AMC is bullish. And I mean, over a very short term, I'm saying that, like a couple days. There's like a series of flags through here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm trying to use a motive wave count through here. I'm trying to find 5 waves of continued progress. So that first push down, it needs to be shorter than that next wave down, or otherwise I could say that second leg down needs to be longer than the first. And for that to be the case, we need to get down to 1806. It's possible that we're going to be looking for a third wave extension through here, in which case we have push 1. Ooh, this is actually the wrong degree. Yellow is going to be down here. I'm going to use parentheses to denote the larger wave degree, and I'm going to color it blue. I use colors to help myself here, so sometimes I don't necessarily need to even have the wave count. I can just do the chart patterns in those colors. If that doesn't make sense, that's okay. It will in the future. So if this is going to be leg 1, and we're trying to get down to 1806 to form our third wave, the second wave being this little bounce. 1, 2 is right here. We're going to need to enter into a third wave extension, which is going to say that we have 5 more waves inside of the third wave. And this could be 1, and we're going to duplicate this for 2. Pull it up here. There we go. And wave 3 would push the price lower, and it's very, very possible, and what I'm thinking is that we're going to find ourselves in some sort of ending diagonal triangle down here. So I'm going to use this yellow line to show these smaller waves. It's very possible we see 3, 4, and 5. It's kind of like this, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create a falling wedge through here. Yes, this is going to be a very specific guess. I was just way too right earlier. When I get way too right, I start making guesses. We probably overthrow that triangle or that falling wedge to reach that 100% level. And then from there we bounce, and the bounce could be pretty strong. It could come all the way to the bottom of that first wave at 2073. I'm going to go ahead and color this blue so that it's the right wave degree color. This is going to be my short-term forecast for GameStop for a while. I want to see dying or shortening waves going down, followed by a big bounce, and then we'll get the next big bounce, which will take me down to my target, which is probably really around 16. I'm going to leave this here. I wasn't expecting on going this far with that, but looks good to me. We're going to take a look at VIX really quickly. VIX coming down, rejecting. It's still technically making progress as long as we don't come all the way back down to 1745. So there could be some upside here for the market. Still, I know SPY is going to be an uncomfortable sideways grind, I think, for longer than people want to be. I really do. I'm not going to be day trading SPXU or SPY. Actually, I'm just long on Playboy right now. Playboy. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I actually looked into the company and I'm like surprised by what I see. So I'll go into that later. The dollar strength index here, bouncing today, forming a small little flag through here. I believe from this point, the dollar actually could be ready to push much higher. This looks very bottomy. From this peak towards 103 something or another, I think we've had a right angle descending broadening formation, possibly. I need 5 touch points. I don't see them, but it's not to say that we don't have a reverse triangle through here. Jeez, I'm gonna have to take a look at this and recount this, but this does look bullish to me, or that the price does want to push higher. We'll get that confirmation as we pass the top of the flagpole, which is somewhere here in the 103.8 region. What else do we want to do today? Do we want to go over, let's check up on GNS. What's GNS up to? Obviously, we didn't get a bear flag breakout like I was showing there. Instead, we have this spectacular, what people are going to call a flag. And I'm not going to call it a flag. And the reason for that is because the length of the flag is just like so much longer than the actual flagpole. Flagpole is like a couple days, and this is like 2 weeks or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just start connecting peaks and valleys through here. See what I can or can't do. Looks like it's more of a channel than anything else, right? Yeah, again, I'm not super convinced by GNS. I'm really not. Wish is supposed to be a good play. People talk about its fundamentals improving. Yesterday I said I wasn't going to touch it, and on the hourly time frame, you're going to see we had a big dump today. This is to be expected, really. I don't find Wish to be all that great. If we did have a motive wave count going through here, going higher, passing this peak, would throw us into either a bullish extension, or guess what? It was just a corrective bounce, and now the price is going to start heading lower. Reverse triangles are a thing, and they're confusing because they create big price swings towards the end of the pattern. Like this. You have this massive surge up, and then it just turns around and heads down lower. And these we call reverse triangles. They occur in wave C typically, so if we had waves A, B, and this is all just C being an extension, yeah, that's very possible that this is not nearly as cool as it looks, unfortunately. That's all I want to go through today. Kind of got a lot going on. Kind of tired today. Not a lot of energy. But at the end of the day, it's okay. This is just a test recording anyway because I'm having some technical difficulties, so I'm not even sure if this is going to get posted. I don't know. All right. Happy trading.